Good morning. Happy Easter. Those of you that are observing the holiday. It's nice that you came in and you're going to be practicing with me today. So today's class, again, a level 1. It's based in shoulder mobility, some core work, and it's also going to help you with back bending. So there might be some times that you may not see me, and that's okay. I'll be as descriptive as I can so that you can benefit from the class. Again, if you're just not feeling good today, you don't have to do everything, and there's a lot of different ways to do this, so it's never ever really has to be like as I'm describing. There's thousands and thousands of techniques. So with the channels, with Facebook and Instagram, I'm live. But all my classes, if you didn't know, are going to be on my YouTube channel. So it's Jon Witt, and I'll be adding mobility work and dynamic stretching. I use a lot of different forms of practice, and that's probably been the best thing for me in terms of keeping myself very well and not injured. So I hope you've been enjoying the classes. So how we're going to start the class is on your back. If you have a block, great. If you don't, you don't have to use it. You could use a pillow. So we're going to come down onto your back, and when you come down onto your back, I'm just going to have the block to my side. Eventually I'll be using it. So lie back onto your back, and then when you go back on your back, just set up for a bridge. So my hands are just underneath my elbow or over my elbows, and my shoulders are back, and I'm going to push through the heels, and I'm going to lift through the hips, and I'm trying to get wider here through my back. A lot of times when people back bend, the feet turn in. So if you've been experiencing some problems with your back in terms of back bending, try turning the heels out, and that'll help open up the lower back. So I'm getting heavy through the shoulders, I'm lifting through the spine, you're trying to create a sense of polarity. So like if I was pulling your hips forward in space and you continue to get heavy through the shoulders, then you'll be able to extend more. Now if I can, I'm going to take my right foot up off the floor. So I'm just using my left leg a little bit more, and this is really just to get you a better sense of how much strength you have in your left leg. And then I'm going to bring the right foot down, and I'm going to take the left foot up off the floor. So you might find that again you have to come out on one side quicker than the other, it's okay. It's really to help build up balance between the two sides. And then I'm going to bring the left foot down, and you could be coming down, of course. And then I'm going to lift up through the hips, and I'm going to take the right leg on top of the left leg. So I'm in an external rotation through the right thigh. So ground out through the shoulders. And this is really to help warm up the lower body as well, obviously. You can bring the right foot down, and then inhale, take the left leg up, drive through the right heel. Hips don't have to lift up more, but over time they can. And then you can bring the left foot down. And then when you come down, if you can, roll through the upper back, mid back, and then lower back comes down. As the lower back comes down, just bring the feet together and have the knees wide and push into the thighs. And if I'm pushing in the tops of the thighs, I'm going to create more space from my sacrum into the upper regions of my thoracic. And then we're just going to bring the legs back into more of a neutral position. So I'm going to take the feet up off the floor, and I'm going to bring my lower back into the floor. I'm going to just try to keep my ribs in, and I'm going to extend my right leg forward, but I don't want to arc through my lower back, right? This is just to help with your lower back in terms of getting stable. And then take the right knee over the right hip, take the left leg forward. And maybe you can't bring it forward, right? But over time you can. So it's very easy for me to kind of sway through the lumbar. So I'm just trying to keep my lower back more into the floor. And then bring the left leg back in space. Bring the feet down again. And then elevate through the hips. Ground down through the shoulders. Press through the heels of your feet. Take 3 deep breaths. So breathing in, breathing out. and then you can come back down. So we're gonna come down, and then we're gonna try to do, and this might get difficult for some of you, but we'll see what we can do. So I'm gonna bring the block here into my right thigh. My right knee is gonna be bent, and I'm gonna hook my left elbow into the thigh, and I'm gonna stay up. Now you can support the head with either hand if you need that. And it's gonna be about an 8 count. So you're squeezing in with the right knee into the left elbow, and then you're gonna come back down and switch sides. You can bring the right foot down and then take the left leg up. I'll post my right elbow into my left knee and thigh. Again, support the head, squeeze in. You could either point through the right foot or you could flex it. And I'm squeezing in again, and then I'm gonna come back down. So some of you might be like, wow, I'm done. So of course you could just rest. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna switch the block so that it's a little bit lower. So I'm gonna bring my left elbow into the block. This is the lowest level. Now it could still be at the highest level. So you're squeezing into the block, lifting yourself up for 3. Keep squeezing in. My legs are kind of scissoring as well. 2, and then 1. You can come back down. And then you can bring the block over to the left thigh. And then I'm extending my right leg forward. I'm twisting. So as you're twisting towards the left knee, it's all, twists that we perform in yoga, practice in yoga. So take a couple deep breaths, and then bring yourself back down. And then when you come back down, have the block off to the side, ground down through the shoulders, elevate through the hips. So push the shoulders back into the floor. Take 3 deep breaths. And then you can slowly come back down. And then when you come back down, what we're gonna do is lie onto your belly. So when you lie onto your belly, my arms are gonna be in a W position, so a 90-degree angle. So you're gonna come down onto your belly. I'm gonna be off my mat just so that you can see me a little bit better. So when you come down, have the arms into a wide position, and then lift the arms up and out so the head stays down. So I'm holding at the top, and then I'm going to bring the arms down. Take the arms back up. Bring the arms back down. Inhale, take them up. Exhale, take them down. Inhale up. And then when you're at the top, you can take a couple deep breaths. Broad shoulders, broad upper back. You can bring them down. And then last time we'll take them up, and then we'll bring them back down. So just take a couple deep breaths and being on your belly. And then what we're gonna do is take the arms beside you and lift up through the chest, lift up through the upper body. You could think that I'm pulling back on your feet, and as you reach back through the toes, it's more of a stabilizing back bend. And then come back down, and then just come up onto the elbows, the forearms, and look high over the left shoulder. So lift the head, lift the chest, broad shoulders, broad upper back. Look over the right shoulder. As you look over the right shoulder, you're elevating through the chest. And then you can just look forward. So when we come down, the arms are going to be more like a V position or a Y position. So about a 45-degree angle. Thumbs could turn up or actually out a little bit. That's how I'm going to do it. So when you come down, just turn the hands out, and you're going to take the arms up off the floor. So a weak muscle for most people. That's really great for the shoulders. And you can bring it down. Inhale, take it up. Hold at the top. Keep breathing. Bring it back down. Inhale, take it up. So think that someone's pulling on the arms, and you'll get more of an exposure into the chest and the back. Bring it down. Take it up again. Lift it up. Bring it back down. And then last time, take it up. So lifting the arms. Again, think of getting longer and wider. And then bring your arms back down. Take the arms again back beside you. Lift through the chest. Reach through the toes. Broaden the shoulders. Broaden the back. And then bring yourself back down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Slowly curl up into a low cobra. Right now, I'm just kind of sussing out how my back feels. If I do come up into a higher position, I'm strengthening through the abdomen. I'm strengthening through the glutes. This is an external rotation of the shoulders. You shouldn't feel it in the elbows. So if you're rotating too much, it can be a negative experience in the elbows. I'm gonna look high over my left shoulder. And maybe you're down in Sphinx Pose, right? Maybe that's a better back bend for you. You can look over the right. Deep, deep breathing. Ribs are in. And then you can bring your head forward and you can bring your hips down. But now I'm gonna tuck through the toes and just come up into all fours. Just come up into all fours. Push through the hands around the spine, around the back. Look forward, look up. Exhale, round through the spine. Look forward, look up. And exhale, round through the back. Right? Just turn the hands out a little bit. And just move the weight around, adjust the hands or wrist. So wrist work will help shoulders and shoulders will help wrist. So as you're moving around, right, it doesn't have to be a great range of motion, but this can help. And then come back into the middle. Turn the hands forward, make it a little bit longer, and lift up into a plank. So you can tuck the toes, you can round through the spine. So I've been saying this more often. You really want to be in a hollowed position if you're really wanting to get stronger. And you might not be able to hold it as long, but like I said, I think it's a much better way of supporting your weight. So I'm kind of moving the weight around, and then I'm going to come down on the knees, and then I'm just going to bring my elbows to the floor and reach the arms forward. Now I could look forward, I could have my head down. So this is more for your shoulders when you keep your ribs in. So if you just kind of sway down, that is not bad. You could be doing that the whole time. You could be looking forward from time to time, really to adjust the upper back. And then come up into an all four position, and then all fours, tuck through the toes, lift up into a plank, and then lift up and back into a down dog. So in down dog, you could be pedaling the legs out, you could be moving the whole time. So you're ready to just get into some vinyasa. That's what you like. That's what you practice. You could certainly be doing that. I'm pulling back through the thighs. So I'm going to come forward. I'm going to come through into an up dog. I'll pull back up into a down dog. And come forward, come through. Weight is in the index fingers. Good rotation in the shoulders. We go back. One more time, I'll come forward and I'll come through. All right? And then I'll go back up into a down dog. So you go all the way back up into a down dog. So just come down on the knees. If you can, sit back into a child's pose. Arms could reach forward, arms could reach back. Much easier on the shoulders if the arms are back like so. You could also hold onto the feet, stretch out your back more. Again, yoga is a very internal practice. So you're using the abdominals that we were using on our back. Every position you're using those muscles. So take 2 deep breaths. Right? And then bring yourself back up to all fours. And then in all fours, you can come up into a plank. Rotate through the shoulders. Go back up into a down dog. And then what we're going to do is walk the feet forward to the middle of your mat. Walk your hands back towards your feet. You can take the hands to the left side. You can take the hands to the right. You can take the hands back in the middle. Walk the hands all the way forward. Walk the feet forward just so that you have enough space. And then step the left foot back into a lunge. And in a lunge, try to make it longer. I said this in the class on Fridays. Really longer stance is really preparing you for splits. You can take the right arm up to the ceiling. The right arm is high and the left hand is low. I'm going to bring the right hand down. I'm going to take it up. I'm going to bring it down. I'm going to take it up. I'm going to come down if I can with my elbow. So my elbow is down, and this could be a block, right? But the back of the shoulder is spreading and opening. And then I'm going to take the right arm up to the ceiling. So the right arm is high and the left hand is low. Right, bring the right hand down and then step the left foot forward. You could be in a soft forward bend. You could be pulling on your feet if that's, your practice. You can step the right foot back into a lunge with the right foot back. I'm big on lining armpit up to knee and shoulder, right? It's a very good thing to help support better posture, better alignment. Take the left arm up to the ceiling, so the left arm is high, the right hand is low. So think I'm pulling back on your hips. You can bring the left hand down, you can take it up. So broad shoulders, broad upper back. And then I'm going to bring the left elbow to a block or the floor. So getting a little bit lower. And then I'm going to take the left arm up to the ceiling. So the left arm is high, right hand is low. Bring the left hand down and then step the right foot forward. So both feet are in a forward, forward, you're forward, and down. I'm going to take my hands over to the left side and I'm going to pull on my left foot with my right hand. But in something like this, you're trying to get the legs again towards the upper body, not so much just pulling with the arms. Take the hands to the right side, hold the right ankle with the left hand. Try to bring the weight forward into the front of the feet. And then as you're forward and you're down, right? We're going to roll yourself up into a standing position. And like I said, you might not be able to see me in a standing position, but I'm going to just move so that you can see my legs more. So my head might be cut off. So I'm going to take my left leg up off the floor. My left leg is up. I'm going to turn to the upper body. I'm going to take the left arm back and the right arm forward. So you can lift up through the chest. You have the practice of grabbing your foot, you could do that. I'm going to turn forward. I'm going to bring my left foot down. I'm going to take my right foot up off the floor. So I'm going to turn through the torso, turn to the upper body, and then open the arms. Now you could look back towards the right hand, of course. So you could certainly do. Right? And then I'm going to turn forward and I'm going to bring the right leg down. So take the arms up overhead, reach up high. Take the arms back down. Take them up again. And then take them back down. So to mobilize the back, you can use your arms, you could use a block, just so it's easier for you. You're going to take my left arm underneath my right arm, and I'm going to round through my back, just so that you can see me. I'm going to come down, but you could be standing still. So I'm just rounding my back, rounding my shoulders, and then I'm going to lift the chin, I'm going to lift the chest. Right, I'm going to round my back. Now you could be in different angles. You could be to the left or the right. You could also just be center. Those of you that are left-handed people, the right arm could be underneath the left arm, and then you could extend up. So head's lifting up, head moving back, and then you can exhale. You can round the back, round the shoulders, right? And then just come back to neutral. So you're standing still. We're going to come back to the top of the mat. Take the arms up overhead and exhale, fold forward into a forward fold. Step the left foot back, come up into a warrior one. And when you come up into warrior one, you can take the arms forward. You can bring the left arm underneath the right. You can grab the shoulders. Right? And again, I always say this, it's so good to straighten the front leg out if you're just not in the best position. Now when the arms are wrapped like this, again, the backs of the shoulders will open. You could take the arms overhead. I like a thumb lock. I like squeezing hands together. Right? Just straighten through the right leg, look up towards the ceiling. Keep lifting the front of your body up. And then come back into a warrior one. And maybe you don't want to come forward right into warrior three. You could just alternate having your leg bent or straight. I'm going to come forward into a warrior three. And then in warrior three, I'm forward, I'm down. My right leg could be bent. My right leg could be straight. Hands could be down, right, for flexibility. And then what you're going to do is bring the hands down Those of you that didn't come forward into Warrior 3, you bring your hands down, and then you could take the foot up off the floor, keep it down. Right, so either I'm in a lunge, or I'm in more of a Warrior 3 position. I'm gonna take my left arm up to the ceiling, or my right arm, and if my left hand is down, I'm turning my upper body to the right. So you wanna keep extending through the crown, and then bring the right hand down, and bring the left foot down the floor, and bring the back knee down the floor. So now the left knee is down, you're in a low lunge. Take the hands over to the left side and look high over the left shoulder. So lift your head, lift your chest. Take your hands to the inside, and if you could get low again. You could get your elbows to a block, but maybe you're better off being up. So if I'm low, it's just more leverage, which can be better. Just shouldn't be irritating the knee or the hips. And then what I'm going to do is come up and bring the right hand on the inside of the right foot. I'm going to take the left arm up to the ceiling. So the left arm is high. Now hips can be opened or squared. So if you had a dance background, you'd want to be more in a squared hip position. Those of you that are not as flexible, you could be in more of an open hip position like a Warrior 2, right? And then you can bring the left hand down. And with the left hand down, I'm going to sit back with the hips. And I don't want to be collapsing, especially if you have back pain, right? I'm going to take my left hand on the outside of my right foot. So I'm going to be forward, I'm going to be down. Take 3 deep breaths. Think that the leg is lifting to the chest. And then you're going to bring the left hand on the inside of the right foot and come up with the back knee again. So just stay in a lunge, right? If you're really, tired, you can't do this, take the right arm up to the ceiling, so the right arm is up. All this twisting, and each time you do it should get easier. And then bring the right hand down, and you can step the left foot forward. So both feet are forward. Just take the hands to the left side. Again, those of you that can't fold forward, you could be up on your elbows. You could be an extension. You don't have to be all the way forward and down, especially if your back hurts. You can fold all the way forward and then take the hands to the right side and then take the hands back in the middle. Step the right foot back and come up into a Warrior 1 on the left side. So I say this all the time. Warrior 1 may be better, a lunge may be better, really depends. Take the arms forward and then bring the right arm underneath the left arm and grab the shoulders. So just see how your body relates to the wall that's in front of you. And try to get more squared, right? Take the arms up into an overhead position and then just straighten through the left leg. So push through the feet, lift through the pubic bone, broaden through the shoulders. A couple deep breaths here. And then I'm going to come back into a Warrior 1. And I'm going to load up the front leg. I'm going to come forward into a Warrior 3. Use a wall or a chair or blocks. And it's good to be off balance, It's going to make the foot stronger. It's going to actually support the knee in getting stronger. And then I could bring the hands down. Now I could step back with the right foot if I couldn't be in, a twisted half moon. But I'm going to bring my right hand down. I'm going to take my left arm up. I'm going to extend. So if I really wanted more twist through the upper body, I'd be up on a block. If I really want to get more of a rotation through the torso, that's how I would do it. You can bring the left hand down and then bring the right knee down. And just so that you can see me a bit better, I'm just going to move around. So my back knee is down. I'm going to walk my hands over to my right hip. And I'm going to look high over my right shoulder. So I'm going to lift the chest, lift the head. Right? And then I'm going to come down. And then as you come down, you could get your elbows down. Right? You can get lower. You can move yourself around. It's not better to get lower, it's just, again, it's more leverage. And then when you come up, I'm going to squeeze my left shoulder and my knee together. Very long arms, so I don't need a block because of my anatomy, but you may. You can take the right arm up, and I'm pushing my left elbow into my left thigh, and I'm rotating. This is all mobilization of the thoracic spine, which will help with your breathing, it'll help with your posture. And you can bring the right hand down over the right hand down. I'm going to move my hips back and my left hand on the outside. Now, we had the hands down when we did this before, but you really want to be able to come forward enough where you're not collapsing. So keep the hands down if you need them for balance, but know that you want to get forward and down, not just from your back. Right? So you want to be more honest in coming forward and down, just so that you're exposing the leg more. So take a couple deep breaths here, moving forward towards your hands, and then come back into a low level lunge, and then just step the right foot all the way forward. So you're in a forward fold. So you can hang forward, you could be down, and take 3 deep breaths. And we're going to try to bring the feet together, and with the feet together, step the left foot over the right foot. And those of you that can't forward bend, big believer in Virasana, more back bending. Don't get caught up in that you have to stay to any sequence that anybody that is teaching you. So pubic bone is down and it's in. Then bring the weight into the hands and bring the left foot next to the right, step the right foot over the left. So the anatomy of the body is all cross-referenced. So even though you're working on the lower body, you're really manipulating the upper body, the thoracic spine. So take a couple deep breaths here. Move yourself forward, move yourself down. Then bring the weight into the hands and then step the right foot next to the left, being a soft forward bend. We're going to step back into a plank. And in a plank, you can push to the hands. I'm rotating the shoulders out, even though I'm in protraction of the shoulders. So then come down on the knees and still stay hollowed, all right? Stay hollowed. You don't have to do these, but if you want to get stronger, I'm going to lower to the height of my elbows. I'm going to come back up. Just going to do 2. You can lower, come back up, and then come back up on the toes, but continue to round through the spine. And this is really, again, no different than a handstand. I say this often in classes I teach. And then you can slowly lower all the way to the floor. So come back down. Now come into a W position again, so the arms are in a cactus position. And then take the arms up and out. Just going to do 3. You could bring the arms down. Inhale, take them up. Hold, hold. Hands could be in fists. Bring the arms down. Take them up again. Again, the hands could be in fists. You could bring the arms down. And then just come up into a Sphinx pose again. Lift up onto the elbows, lift up onto the forearms. Keep pulling yourself forward towards your hands. You can look over your right shoulder, you can look towards your feet. You can look over the left shoulder. Big lift through the upper body. And then you can turn forward, and then when you turn forward, I'm going to come down. We're going to do that wide position again for the shoulders. So come down if you can, have the thumbs turned up. Hands are a little wider than the shoulders here. And then lift the arms up and out. So it'll help break up the tension that you have in your back. So it's a lot of weakness. It's why the back is stiff. The shoulders are stiff. You can bring the arms down. Take the arms up. And something like this you can really work hard in. Because again, it's usually weakness. You can bring the arms down. Take the arms up again. Lift the arms away from the floor. And then bring them back down. Now come back up into Sphinx Pose if that's a back bend that you need. I'm going to add something else to help you with your Cobra. So you could use the block. So the block sits just above your pubic bone. So when you're hopefully it's not too uncomfortable for you, but you're lying on the block, you might be on bone, which again, if it's too much, you could have a blanket over the block. But a lot of times people, when they do Cobra, And you could just rest here, relax, and let the block adjust your lower back. So very good for the lower back, and this could be a blanket if a block doesn't fit, so or a soft ball or something like that, or a dense pillow. But a lot of times people don't have the hips down in the floor, and that's why the back can hurt so much in back bending. So I'm going to have my hands either wider than my shoulders. I'm going to come up into a low cobra or a high cobra. And it should, in my opinion, in terms of back bending, I don't feel negativity in my back, and sometimes I can from up dogs and cobras. So you want to keep lifting up and out. Right? Those of you that want to get stronger and you like the motion, I'm going to come down again, all the way down, and I'm going to come back up. So I'm happy if you're down and you're not doing this, obviously. So keep lifting yourself up and out, and then bring yourself forward, bring yourself down. Just take 3 deep breaths. If you don't like the block here, right, come off the block, take it out. But you can just rest. You should feel, if you do continue to use the block, you should feel your whole lower back starting to relax. So a lot of the tension that you have in your lower back is from the front of the body. And then what I'm going to do is come up on my hands and my knees, and then I'm going to lift up. If you like using the block in up dog, I'm going to bring the block, either to the lowest level or the second level, and that'll be to support the thighs. So you can just bring the legs in. So the block shouldn't be on your knees, it shouldn't be on your hips. It'd be above the thighs, or above the knees, right? Go up into a down dog, pull back through the thighs. Good thing for the head is you could bring your head into the block if you ever wanted to do that. I'm going to swing forward and through, coming into the block, elevating the chest, looking up towards the ceiling, and then pulling back into a down dog. So pull back with the thighs. Right? One more time, come forward, come through, elevate the chest, push through the hands, pull back through the thighs. Right? And then come down onto your knees. And then when you come down onto your knees, you're going to take the left arm up to the ceiling. So the left arm is high, right? The right hand is low. And just bring that hand down, then take it up again. Right? Broad upper back. And then bring the left hand through, left arm through. So threading the needle. I like my left hand into a fist. And then the tension can help, create more space in my back. You could line your left shoulder up with your right knee, because eventually that's what you're doing in twists. Take 2 deep breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out. And then come back up. And then when you come back up, take the right arm up to the ceiling. Turn through the chest, turn through the upper body. Then bring the right arm through. Bring the head and the shoulder down. Turn through the upper body, turn through your rib cage, through your belly, and then as you're in this, you could drop through the shoulder. Right? Take one more breath here, and then bring yourself back up into an all four position. So sit on a block. Now that could be 2 blocks, it could be I'm on a half block, right? But if you need more space up in the upper body, sit high. And if you really need to stretch out your thighs more, you could be on a lower setting. So if I'm low, more manipulation through the peroneals and through the quads and through the knees. The knees could be apart, right? And it's good to explore getting lower. Not that you have to do that now. I'm pulling the skin back on my knees, so it's less pressure in the tibia. That's really where I feel it sometimes, because I have a little bit of extra bony mass, and maybe you as well. It's kind of like it can pull on the tissues. So just sit yourself up in space, be nice and tall, nice and upright, right? And then, at some point, say you're done with this, you don't obviously have to do it more. I'm gonna do a camel today, and I like asymmetrical camels as opposed to just straight back. You know, if that's your practice, then you could be doing that. But I'm gonna come up on the knees, and then when I come up on the knees, just so that you can see it more, but if you're right-handed, you're probably gonna benefit going to your left foot with your left hand. I'm gonna go to my right just so that you can see it. So I'm gonna go back, and really grabbing the foot isn't really, it's just a reference. It's not like you have to do that. You could look down and then you could bring yourself back up. I'm gonna do about 3 on this side. So I'm gonna go over, I'm gonna lift. Like it's a pose of strength. It's not so much just flexibility. Bring yourself up. I'm gonna go back again. And say you have more range, your foot could be flat. You could reach for the left foot with the right hand. You could bring yourself back up. Now I'm gonna tuck the toes. I'm gonna reach back at the left hand. It's so much easier to go to this side for me. I twist better to my left. Bring yourself up. It's like completely, it's like I could do this first thing in the morning, That's how easy it is. And you can bring yourself back up, and then you can go back, and you can come up. Now, if you're done with that, you could sit in Baddha Konasana or something like that. But say you want to go back, I'm going to go back without grabbing my feet. So I'm trying to go up. I'm not just going to go back, because people get caught up in the feet, and then they really bring too much pressure into the back. And then you can bring yourself back up. You can obviously do more. Bring your hands down. With your hands down, we're going to counter with kind of like a crow variation. So push to the hands and lift the knees up off the floor. So lift the knees up. Take a couple deep breaths. Push through the hands. Pull back through the abdomen. Come back down with the knees. Take the hands forward and then step back into a down dog. So pedal the legs out. Right. And then just, if you can, bring your left hand to your right thigh. Then bring it back. Keep pedaling the legs up, bending the knees. Reach for your calf muscle with your left hand. Right? As it gets easier, you bend the knees really deep, and you can grab the right foot with the left hand, and then you can lift the hips up and back. So I'm pushing through my index finger of my right hand. I'm turning. Again, you may never ever straighten your legs out. It's more leverage, and it's better aesthetics. It's perfectly fine if the legs aren't straight. You can bring the left hand back, right? Swing forward and through into an up dog. Go back up into a down dog. And then reach with your right hand for your left thigh. And just see which side is difficult to twist, see which side is difficult to hold the weight. Bring the right hand back. Reach for the left calf muscle with the right hand. Bring the right hand back, bend the knees. Again, you have to bend the knees really, really deep to grab the foot. Grabbing the left heel with the right hand, and then lifting the hips and pulling back. So turn the heels out. And maybe you're in down dog. Maybe you're sitting. You're really observing and you're practicing. That's, it doesn't have to be this position. You're turning your upper body towards the left armpit. And then bring the right hand back. With the right hand back, you're going to walk the feet forward, middle of the mat. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet forward, and then step the left foot back. And with the left foot back, you're just in this easy type of lunge. I'm going to come down with my left knee. Now, we did arm up, right? But over time, if you can, bring yourself up into an upright position. I'm going to take my left elbow, my armpit, past the knee. I'm going to make my left hand into a fist. My right hand engulfs that fist. And then I'm using my hands, my arms. But I'm a bigger fan of using the strength of the inner body, not so much the arms to twist you. So then you'll always have that type of range. Then bring your hands back to center. Take the back knee up off the floor. Take the right arm up to the ceiling. Should be a lot easier. Bring the right hand down and then step the left foot forward. Step the right foot back into a lunge, into the right foot back. You're going to bring the back knee down. As you bring the back knee down, bring the upper body up. And there's varying degrees. So maybe it's here rather than being all the way upright. But upright position is most likely going to be more difficult for you. Take your right elbow, your armpit past the knee. Make your right hand into a fist. Encase the fist with the left hand. And then spiral away from your pelvis. Keep getting longer as opposed to twisting more. And you should feel your mid, your upper back, being manipulated here. Then bring the hands back down. Take the back knee up off the floor. Take the left arm up to the ceiling. And the hand could be a fist or an open hand position. And then bring the left hand down and then step the right foot forward. So both feet are forward. You can be in a soft forward bend. And then separate the feet, about the width of the shoulders. See if you can squat down. If you can squat down all the way, great. With squatting, if it hurts the knee, I would say, just stay away from it. A lot of good things you could do to really strengthen the connective tissues around the knee, and then squat. I wish it was that simple, just squat and everything will get better. Doesn't always work out that way. So bring the hands back behind you and then be in a seated position. And then in seated, I'm going to take my right leg back in space. I'm going to try to get the armpit and the knee together. So I'm going to push the foot forward into the hand. Some of you will be lower than your knee or thigh. Doesn't have to be today, but work towards getting your right arm above your right shin, your knee. And it'll really help with your posture, right? And then bring the right foot down and then take the left leg back in space. And then with the left leg back in space, you can get the armpit and the knee together. You can lift the chest up above the knee. And you'll see that one side can pull back easier. It comes from the hip, it comes from the hamstring. Also, one shoulder is higher. So that's why it's so easy to get the leg back like this. And then you can lift up. Noah's peeking in. And then he'll come in later if he wants. And then you can bring the left foot down. And then what you can do is just have both knees bent. And then take the left foot outside of the right hip. Now the left leg could be straight forward. I'm going to take my right foot over my left knee. And then as it gets easier, you can start to fit the left armpit into the right knee. And you can lift up and you could grab the foot, the hip. If you really like binding, binding's great. And you can lift up away from your pelvis. And you could turn forward and you could release the arm and the leg. I'm just going to change so that you can see me a bit better. So bring your right foot outside your left hip. Step your left foot over your right knee. And then take the right arm around. And there's some really great, a lot, why this can be difficult for people is really the rotators of the hip. So there's things you can do to make it easier, better. So keep lifting up away from the left knee. Broaden the shoulders, broaden the back. Get a good lift through the upper body. Right, and then turn the head forward and you can release the arm and the leg. And what we're going to do is you can be on your back, have a block with you if you have one. It's okay if you don't. So I'm going to have the block in between my thighs. And then I'm going to take my knees over to the right. So I'm in a 90-degree angle. Right? Now just have the left hand over the right and then open up to a twist, a supine twist. Right? Now you could stay here, right? But I'm gonna bring the left hand back over the right arm and I'm gonna trace it into a semicircle. So if you're like, what? You could just watch. So I'm gonna reach the left arm overhead. Continue to look to the hand. As you keep looking to the hand, when your hand is off the floor or your head, that's where you want to really work it. So you can take it all the way out. Right? I'm going to do that one more time. You can rotate back, right, over, and you can come back and open it up. Again, when your hand or your shoulder significantly, your left shoulder's off the floor, you can work on that angle. So take 3 deep breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out. Right? And then what you can do is just look straight up to the ceiling, take the knees up, and then take the knees over to the left side. So you're in a 90-degree angle, feet to knees to hips. And then when you're here, you can slide the right hand beyond the left arm. So it's kind of like when we were threading the needle, that type of position. And then open your chest, rotate to the right. And say you like this motion and the other motion, then that makes sense to do, right? You could roll back onto your side, and then the right arm is over the left, and then I'm going to do a semicircle around my head. So I'm going to look to the hand, open up through the shoulders, open through the chest. Right arm is out to the right. You can bring the right hand back over the left arm. Circle again, over and to the right. And then you could stay in an open position, just checking the time. So you can look over the right hand. So nice twist to the right. And then you could bring the head back to center. And say you want an extra relaxation, it's a perfect time to do that. I'm gonna do a little bit more back bending just so that you can see the difference from the groundwork. So you could lie on your belly again. If you like the block underneath the abdomen, you could do that. I'm going to do that one more time. So if you do have the block, it's just, again, this time around, just to give you a little bit of a different twist, is have the block in your chest. And for women, this might not be the best thing for obvious reasons, but you can have the head down, and rounding the back is really helpful. And it could be different angles. So you're like, I don't know about this flat position. You could be on the second level, and then that's more of a rounding of the upper back, right? And then I'm going to bring my hands underneath my shoulders, and say you're like, oh, I love this. A lot of times people forget about rounding the back is incredibly helpful for extending the spine. So it's something you can work on in a number of ways. Push to the hands, lift yourself up. So broad upper back, broad shoulders. Continue to lift through the pubic bone. If you're watching me, not that you have to, but you see me moving around, I'm manipulating things differently. So I'm never going to be in a fixed position if it's not ultimately the best position for me. Look high over the right shoulder. Look high over the left. You can look center, lift through the sternum, the collarbone, and then bring yourself back up, all four position. You can go up into a down dog. You can pull back through the thighs, pull back through the hips. You can reach back through the heels, press through the front of the hands. And then, you could obviously do more on your hands, right? Whatever it is that you like to practice. You could come down onto the knees. I'm going to come into a seated position just to counter some of the back bends with the side bend. So just be in a cross-legged position, simple cross-legged position. Squeeze the legs together or push the knees apart. Take the left hand to the left. Reach the right hand to the right. You could lean forward towards the knees. You could lean back. You could take the right hand behind the head. Lifting the chin, lifting the chest. Right, take the right arm up to the right. You could bring yourself back up. You can recross the legs. Take the right hand to the right side. Reach the left hand to the left. You could be leaning forward. You could be leaning back. You could have the head down. You can take the left hand behind the head. You can lift the chin. You can lift the chest. Continue to lift up away from your lower back. And then take the left arm out to the left. And then you could bring yourself back up. So you could be in a seated position. You can relax. So again, this class will be on YouTube. If you like the class and you want to make a donation, it's either through Venmo or PayPal. It's Jon Witt Yoga. And I greatly appreciate the support. Again, if you can't afford the class or whatever, share it with people, continue to take it. But I had a great time. I'm going to do one more thing for your shoulders, some soft tissue manipulation, and then I'll give you a short relaxation, and we'll call it for the day. So thanks for tuning in. So I'm going to be on the second level of the block. If that feels unstable for you, do it on the low level. The block is really going to be inside of the armpit, the subscapularis is really tight for people. Big reason why people can't get the arms straight up overhead. So I'm going to lie on my left side just so that you can see me. And then I'm in this, it should be it's pretty tight for a lot of people. So if it's too much, right, maybe you have a foam roller, or you could use the side of your sofa for this, right? The arm of a chair. You could take your hand behind your head or have it down. But I'm rolling back into this soft tissue to really get the shoulder to soften up. And just start with like a minute or two when you do it at home. Then you can, increase the time. So roll forward a little bit and then roll back. So the top shoulder's back, not that it has to be further back, but find an angle that really is just not pliable. You want the tissues to be pliable so that they can function as they should. And then you can roll back, and you can come up. And then you can go to the right side or the left, whatever side you started with. So again, the block is on the second level. You're just in the armpit, back of the shoulder. So come over the block, and then when you come over the block, you can just kind of roll forward initially. Probably going to be a lot easier for you. And maybe that's that's all I can do. Especially if you have a cork or a wooden block. This might not be the best thing. That's why I prefer a foam roller, but most people have yoga blocks. That's why I'm teaching it with a yoga block. So you can lean back, and then as you lean back, you can really get into the tissues here. Again, really a tight area. It's, first, very rare that people don't necessarily need this. You can lean back, and then you can come forward, and then you can come off of that. And then when you come off of that, just come onto your back. You could have your props with you, blankets, whatever, right, to support yourself for your Shavasana. And then just lie back, have the hands over the elbows, have the feet underneath the knees. Just going to do a short bridge just to kind of see the difference. Elevate the hips. Should feel a lot easier from the practice. And then you could bring yourself down, and you can lie back and have the knees bent or the legs straight. I'm going to sit up, but I'm just so that I can talk you through it. So you can relax all the muscles of your feet, into the calf muscles, in and around the knees, the thighs, the hips. And then as you relax into these muscles, it's just you're gonna feel the circulation better within your legs, within your body. As the pelvis gets heavier, you'll start to feel a relaxation into your abdomen and your lower back. And the floor, feels even, right? But if you move the weight around, you might actually be like, I'm leaning into one side more than the other, and it's perfectly fine. We're all a little bit asymmetrical. You can measure yourself out a little bit more. You can get heavy in the shoulders, and just think that your body's expanding into the corners of your room. The body's obviously made of a lot of water as you're relaxing. You can kind of visualize that you're moving out into the greater corners. Even if you're in a small room that's much bigger than yourself, then you can relax into your head, get heavier in the skull, and you'll feel your throat relax, the back of your neck, into the jaw, all the muscles of the face, around the eyes, the forehead, and the scalp. So it can be unsettling to have the eyes open. So it's perfectly fine to have them open, but you can soften the gaze and that'll help you. So it's just really, it's great to be in tune with your body, in tune with your breathing. And, when things are really, when I'm practicing yoga poses on a very, physical level, it's really the breath that's supporting me, getting me through it, not just my will. So you really have to calm yourself down, focus more on the exhales, and that wave of intensity will pass and you'll be in a much greater place. So I had a great time today. Thank you so much. Again, the class will be on YouTube. Reach out to me with any questions or anything that you'd like to work on more in these classes. The classes are for you. And that's what I really love about this platform, is that we can make it whatever you want it to be. Again, I'll be introducing more things in strength and mobility, and I think everybody can do way more physically. It's just having the right type of system and techniques. Like, anybody can stand on their hands, anybody can do the splits, anybody can jump again or run again. It's just you have to use the right techniques. And then again, we love all the support, and have a great Easter. Namaste.
Have a great Easter.